Now, everybody here ready for some reading? The book that we're going to be reading out of, and I'm going to be doing this cover to cover. And this is a book called Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. This is by the late Scott Cunningham. Yes, Scott Cunningham did pass away. He was an absolutely amazing man. I consider him kind of a green witch. He has a poem that is so lovely. Now, if anybody wants to read along, you're more than welcome to do it. This is the edition. This is actually a paper edition, if you can hear. This includes the author's Book of Shadows, so the page numbering might be a little bit different from what you guys have at home if you have one of the earlier or later editions, okay? Now, I am not going to go through all the introduction stuff. I'm going to start straight up with section 1, okay? Actually, I will do the one-page introduction. But yeah, not all the hullabaloo and the table of contents and all that stuff. This is a poem called The Witch Alone. And it really is a beautiful piece of work. Alright. This is by Scott Cunningham. Beyond the town, beneath the moon, beside the standing stone, there lives a woman fair of faith we call the Witch Alone. She sings to sun and moon and stars, and gathers herbs and weeds, with which she fashions ancient charms and other magic deeds. She worships not at altars built by hands of mortal men, but in the misty glade beyond the farthest glen. What need has she of flashing swords, of crystals glowing bright, of censers and of colored cords that grace the Wiccan rite? Her tools are fashioned from the earth, and wind and fire and rain. Her rites are dances wild and free, that call the gods amain. When spring and summer pass to fall, and twilight fills her eyes, she'll lie upon the browning grass and smile as she dies. For though she leaves her mortal shell of flesh and blood and bone, she knows she does not die but lives on as the Witch Alone. Very pretty little poem. Now, we shall tackle one of the beginner's best books. We were just reading The Witch Alone. That is a poem by Scott Cunningham. Let me untangle my cords, and we're going to begin our journey. Wicca, the religion of witches, has long been shrouded in secrecy. Anyone interested in learning the craft had to content themselves with hints from books and articles. The Wiccans wouldn't say much, save that they weren't looking for a few new members. Growing numbers today are dissatisfied with traditional religious structures. Many are searching for a personally involving religion, one which celebrates both physical and spiritual realities, in which attunement with deity is coupled with the practice of magic. Wicca is just such a religion, centering around reverence for nature as seen in the goddess and god. Its spiritual roots in antiquity, acceptance of magic and mysterious nature, have made it a particularly appealing faith. Until recently, the lack of public information concerning Wicca and its apparent exclusivity has caused much frustration among interested students. Wicca doesn't seek new members. This has been a major stumbling block for those wishing to learn its rites and ways of magic. Wicca doesn't solicit because, unlike most Western religions, it doesn't claim to be the one true way to deity. With growing numbers interested in practicing Wicca, perhaps it's time to allow the full light at the dawning Aquarian age to illuminate these ways. To do so is not to trumpet Wicca as the salvation of our planet, but simply to present it to anyone who cares to learn. There have been many obstacles. Until recently, the only way to enter Wicca was A, to contact an initiated Wicca, usually a coven member, and B, receive initiation. If you didn't know any witches, you were out of luck. For initiation was an absolute prerequisite. Today, times are changing. We are maturing, perhaps too quickly. Our technology outpaces the wisdom to utilize it. Vast unrest spreads over the globe, and the threat of war looms over most, or even more than 5 billion people alive today. Wicca as a religion is changing too. This is necessary if it's to be more than a curiosity of an earlier age. The heirs of Wicca must point the religion firmly to the future if it's to have something to offer the coming generations. Since we have arrived at the point where one mishap can send our planet as we know it, there has never been a time when Wicca as a nature-reverencing religion has had more to offer. This book breaks many Wicca conventions. It has been structured so that anyone, anywhere in the world can practice Wicca. No initiations are required. It is designed for the solitary practitioner, since finding others with similar interests is difficult, especially in rural areas. Wicca is a joyous religion, springing from our kinship with nature, and its emerging with the goddess and gods, the universal energies which created all existence. It is a personal, positive celebration of life, and now it is available to all. Chapter 1. Wicca and Shamanism. Shamanism has been defined as the first religion. It existed prior to the earliest civilizations before our ancestors took the first steps on a long journey to the present. Prior to this time, shamans were the medicine people, the power wielders, male and female. They wrought magic and spoke to the spirits of nature. The shamans were the first humans with knowledge. They created, discovered, nurtured, and used it. Knowledge is power. Women and men who possessed it were in those far-flung days. The shamans were the first humans with knowledge. They created, discovered, nurtured, and used it. Knowledge is power. Women and men who possessed it in those far-flung days were called shaman. How did shamans capture or discover this power? Through ecstasy. Alternate states of consciousness in which they communed with the forces of the universe. Early shamans first attained this state through the use of tools such as fasts, thirsts, self-infliction of pain, and ingestion of certain substances, concentration, meditation, and so on. Once mastered, these techniques allowed them to gain awareness of other non-physical worlds. Through such awareness shifts, all magical knowledge was obtained. Conference with spirits and deities, plants and animals, opened up new vistas of learning. Among their own people, the shamans often shared some of the knowledge, but reserved the rest for personal use. Shamanic lore wasn't for public consumption. Later, shamans advanced into the use of tools to facilitate these awareness shifts, marking the advent of the magical ritual. Shamans around the world today still use such tools as drums, rattles, reflective objects, music, chants, and dance. Indeed, the most effective shamanic rites are those which utilize both natural and artificial tools. A sighing wind, a warring ocean, flickering firelight, a steady drum beat, the hiss of a rattle. These, combined with the darkness and chants, eventually overwhelm the senses, forcing a shift from awareness of the physical world to the vaster realm of energies. Such are shamanic rites, which still exist to this day. From these primitive beginnings arose all magic and religion, including Wicca. Despite current controversy as to the antiquity of Wicca, it is spiritually descended from such rites. Though refined and changed for our world, Wicca still touches our souls and causes ecstasy, awareness shifts, uniting us with deity. Many of the techniques of Wicca are shamanic in origin. Therefore, Wicca can be described as a shamanic religion. As with shamanism, only a select few feel compelled to enter its circle of light. Today, Wicca has dropped the ordeals of pain and use of substances in favor of chanting, meditation, concentration, visualization, music, dance, invocation, and ritual drama. With these spiritual tools, the Wicca achieve a state of ritual consciousness similar to those attained in the most brutal shamanic ordeals. I deliberately use the term altered states of consciousness. Such changed consciousness states aren't unnatural. A deviation from normal waking consciousness. Wicca teaches that nature includes a broad spectrum of mental and spiritual states, of which most of us are ignorant. Effective Wiccan ritual enables us to slip into such states, allowing communication and communion with the goddess and god. Unlike some religions, Wicca doesn't view deity as distant. The god and goddess are both within ourselves and manifest in all nature. This is the universality. There is nothing that isn't of the gods. A study of shamanism reveals much of the heart of magical and religious experience in general, and Wicca in particular. See bibliography for recommended books. I will, in fact, read the bibliography afterwards, so you can take notes of any books that you would like to further research. With ritual as a means to enter religious consciousness, the shaman, or Wicca, consistently expands his or her knowledge, and knowledge is power. Wicca helps its practitioners to understand the universe and our place in it. At present, Wicca is a religion with many variations. Because it's such a personality-structured system, I can only state generalities about the creed and form here, filtered through my experience and knowledge to create a picture of the nature of Wicca. Wicca, in common with many other religions, recognizes deity as dual. It reveres both goddess and god. They are equal, warm, and loving, not distant or resident in heaven, but omnipresent throughout the universe. Wicca also teaches that the physical world is one of many realities. The physical is not the absolute highest expression, nor is the spiritual purer than the base. The only difference between the physical and spiritual is that the former is denser. As in Eastern religions, Wicca also embraces the doctrine of reincarnation, that much misunderstood subject. Unlike some Eastern philosophy, however, Wicca doesn't teach that upon physical death our souls will reincarnate in anything other than a human body. Also, few of the Wicca believe that we begin our existence as rocks, trees, snails, birds, before we evolve to the point where we could incarnate as human beings. Though these creatures and substances do possess a type of soul, it is not the sort that humans have. Reincarnation is accepted as a fact by millions in the East and in the West. It answers many questions. What happens after death? Why do we seem to remember things we've never done in this life? And why are we sometimes strangely attracted to places or people we've never seen before? Surely reincarnation can't answer all these questions, but is there for those who wish to study it. This isn't something that should be believed. Through contemplation, meditation, self-analysis, many have come to the point where they accept reincarnation as a fact. For more information on this subject, see Chapter 10, The Spiral of Rebirth. The Wiccan ideal of morality is simple. Do what you want as long as you harm none. This rule contains another unwritten condition. Do nothing that will harm yourself. Thus, if you, as a Wicca, abuse your body, deny it of the necessities of life, or otherwise harm yourself, you are in violation of this principle. This is more than survival. It also ensures that you'll be in good condition to take on the tasks of preserving and bettering our world, for concern and love for our planet plays a major role in Wicca. Wicca is a religion that utilizes magic. This is one of the most appealing and unique features. Religious magic? This isn't as strange as it might seem. Catholic priests use magic to perform a piece of bread into the body of a long-deceased Savior. Prayer, a common tool in many religions, is simply a form of concentration and communication with deity. If the concentration is extended, energies are sent out with the thoughts which may, in time, make the prayer come true. Prayer is a form of religious magic. Magic is a practice of moving natural, through little understood energies, to effect needed change. In Wicca, magic is used as a tool to sanctify ritual areas, to improve ourselves and the world in which we live. Many people confuse Wicca and magic as if the two words were interchangeable. Wicca is a religion that embraces magic. If you seek only to practice magic, Wicca probably isn't the answer for you. Another fundamental point: magic isn't a means of forcing nature to do your will. That is simply an erroneous idea fostered by the belief that magic is somehow supernatural, as if anything exists that can be outside of nature. Magic is natural. It is a harmonious movement of energies to create a needed change. If you wish to practice magic, all thoughts of it being paranormal and supernatural must be forgotten. Most Wiccans don't believe in predestination. Although we honor and revere the goddess and god, we know that we're free souls within full control and responsibilities of our lives. We can't point to an image of an evil god such as Satan and blame all our faults and weaknesses on it. We can't blame fate. Every second of the day we're creating our futures, shaping the courses of our lives. Once a Wiccan takes full responsibility for all that he or she has done, in this life and past ones, and determines what future actions will be in accord with higher ideals and goals, magic will blossom, and life will be a joy. That perhaps is at the core of Wicca. It is a joyous union with nature. The earth is a manifestation of divine energy. Wicca's temples are flower-splashed meadows, forests, beaches, and deserts. When a Wicca is outdoors, she or he is actually surrounded by sanctity, much as is a Christian when they are entering a church or cathedral. Additionally, all nature is consistently singing to us, revealing her secrets. Wiccans listen to the earth. They don't shut out the lessons that she is so desperately trying to teach us. When we lose touch with our blessed planet, we lose touch with deity. These have been some of the basic principles of Wicca. They are true Wicca. The rituals and myths are secondary to these ideals and serve to celebrate them. The complete Book of Shadows, this is the ritual part of this book, included in Section 3, is a guide to constructing your own. Because these rituals are outer form only, you don't need to be chained to them. Change rites as the mood strikes you. As long as the rites attune with you and your deities, it's all fine. Don't shut out the physical in favor for the spiritual or magical realms, for only through nature can we experience these realities. We are here on earth for a reason. Do, however, use ritual to expand your awareness so that you are truly at one with all creation. The way is open. The ancient goddess and god await within and around you. May they bless and keep you with wisdom and power. That is Chapter 1 of Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner.